Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Here is Kevin from Whippet.net, and what we're going to do now is make use of the X.509 signing certificates that we made in the previous video. So here we have PFX file and then a public key file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate me going out and grabbing an XML document and then signing it and then writing it to disk, and then we'll actually take a look at the digital signature. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to sign that with this PFX file that contains the private key. Then what I want to do is then verify it with this public key file, which I would be giving out to my clients to validate the signature, because you never want to give out your private key. So basically what we're doing is we're locking the message. We're not encrypting it, just in case you guys are confused about that. We're locking the message so that any change of the XML document will not validate on the other side. It's just a way of establishing a trust between two applications. So what we'll do is just create a new project and just make a simple console program, and I'll just call it X.509 sign test. Why not? Something simple, right? Okay, so first let me actually get the XML. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call the lab REST API, and I'm going to grab the courses for the C lineage. The very first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm using .NET 4.5, which might not be set by default. Okay, which I am. So if for whatever reason, just double check to make sure that you're at least using 4.5 in order you can follow this. So here we go. Just create an XML document, and let's see, we're going to add the reference to here, and we'll just call this doc, set that equal to new XML document. Wonderful. Now let's actually run out on the internet, and let's go out and grab an XML document from the Whippet.net server. And here's how we'll do that. We'll do using web clients. We'll just call it clients equals new web clients, excellent clients dot download data, and we'll download data from this URL. If you don't know what this is, in the C# course, we show a simple example of grabbing this result, and it's just going to be an XML document, which we'll take a look at right here. Let me just do a string, XML string equals that, and let's just write it out. Now, it looks like I may have is there a syntax problem here? What's going on? Am I missing a, oh, this is not TCL, Kevin. You got to put quotes around stuff. There we go. That looks a little better, huh? No? Oh, that's right. This is going to come back as a byte array. So let me just make this byte. Call it XML bytes. And then here we'll just do a system dot, or just do an encoding dot UTF-8 get string. And that, whoops, not that, XML bytes. All right, so if I run this, we should see the XML document, which we do. Cool. Okay. All right, so what we want to do is let's stick that inside of this XML object, which is pretty simple to do. So we'll just do doc.load XML, and now we have it. Cool. So I'm going to create a method down here. So let's do a public static void, and then we'll do sign XML documents with certificate. Okay, great. All right. So we may have to pull in a couple of references here, and I'll just kind of pull them in as we need them. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take in the XML document, so that's a given. And we also want to take in the certificate, so we're going to use an X.509 certificate 2, and we'll just call that cert. Now we may have to, no, we don't, we got this. So the environment doesn't see this, so we'll just import the system cryptography namespace, and now we have that certificate. Okay, so up here we have the XML document that we want to sign, but what we don't have is their certificate. All right, great. So I want to sign this using the private key. So let's pull in that PFX file. Now we put the PFX file on the desktop. I can go to C, users, administrator, desktop. So there's my path. So let's do this. X.509. Well, first off, let me just do this. I'll do string cert PFX path equals this / this. Excellent. Now let's actually stick that inside of a X.509.2 object equals new. And there's multiple ways that you can import objects or certificates. You can pull them in from your local certificate store. But what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this from disk because we just have it there and it's just easy. So a simple way we can do that is read the bytes. So we'll do file.read all bytes. And we're going to read the bytes of this. And the second parameter is going to be the password. And the password that we set is 123456789. So if I run the program, it should not crash. Excellent. Okay, great. So now I can call this. I can do sign XML document with certificate. And the parameters are going to be doc and cert. Cool. All right. So let's go through the process of signing this document. So one of the first things that I want to do here is create a signed XML object. Now this one, I believe we're going to have to import. Let me see here, add reference. Let's look for system system.security. There we go. So we'll import system.security, and I think, yeah, there we go. Cool. So signed XML, we'll just call it signed XML equals a new instance of signed XML, and the constructor is going to take in the document that we want to sign. Okay, so we'll do signed XML dot signing key. Oops. Signing key equals cert.private key. All right, so we're going to sign it with the private key. Okay, we can create a reference. So basically, what part of the document do you want to sign? We just want to, with XML signing, you can scope into a specific area and sign it. What we're going to do is just sign the entire document. So reference equals a new reference, and the reference URI, we'll just set that equal to nothing because we're not referencing anything to sign. So that means sign the entire document. Okay, then we'll do an XML dsig envelope signature transform, where envelope equals a new instance of that. So we'll do reference.add transform, and the transform we're going to add is the what we just created above, env, and then signed XML.add reference. All right, so the reference that we're going to add is, you guessed it, reference. All right, so I'm going to do one small thing. I'm going to take, instead of actually just creating this on this line here, just save me a line, stick this inside here. Excellent. All right, next we'll do key info equals a new instance of key info dot add clause, and we're going to add new key info X.509 data, and that's going to be the certificate. All right, and then we'll next do signed XML.keyInfo equals keyInfo. Excellent. Now signed XML.compute signature. All right, so at this point we've computed the signature. Now let's create an XML element, or let's reference an XML element. XML element, XML signature equals signed XML dot get XML. So this contains the actual signature of the node. So now what we're going to do is take that signature that we just computed, and we're going to stick it inside the document that we just sent in. So we'll do document element append child. So we're going to the parent, the highest node, and we're going to append the child. So we'll do doc.import. So we're taking a node from one XML document, putting it in the other document, and we'll do what did I call it? XML sig and deep true. And at this point, we've actually signed the document. So let me run this, make sure it doesn't crash, and it doesn't. So let's go up here and let's do console.writeLine, and we'll do doc.outer XML. There's the string representation of the document, and you'll see we have the same XML that we had before, except for now it has this signature node that contains all this gobbledygook that basically locks the message. So let's write this out to disk, and I'll write this to the desktop. And we'll just call this signed.xml, run it. Cool. All right, so let's go to the desktop, and we have signed.xml. Open this in Notepad++. There we go. Let's go down to the signature node, which is down here. All right, there you are. Cool. Signature node, and this contains all the digital signature information. So we're going to come back, and we're going to write a piece of C# code that will validate this signature. And we'll maybe just change one character in the document just to prove that the digital signature is working properly.